Good day, everyone. So now, before we'll start discussing, we're gonna introduce ourselves first. So I am Rohan Chris M. Delara, together with my co-members, Miss Kiana Panya and Mr. Ken Pamplona. And we are your future RMTs. So now, the topic that we will gonna be discussing for today is all about lymphatic system. So the question is, what is lymphatic system, by the way? Lymphatic system, it is basically a system that removes foreign substances from the blood and lymph, combats diseases, maintains tissue fluid balance, and absorbs dietary fats from the digestive tract. So that's what lymphatic system is. Now, here is here is our lymphatic system that composes of different parts, different organs with different function as well. So as you can see, we have here the right lymphatic duct, the thymus, the axillary lymph node, the mammary plexus, the tonsils, the cervical lymph node, the thoracic duct, the spleen, and the like. So that's what composes of our lymphatic system. It has a lot of parts. But talking about the functions of them, well, there are a lot of functions our lymphatic system have. The first one, as you can see, for fluid balance. Basically, lymphatic helps maintains balance in the body by collecting excess fluid and particulate matter from tissues and depositing them in bloodstream. So, you know what, guys, about 30 liters of our fluid pass from the blood capillaries into the interstitial spaces each day, whereas only 27 liters pass from the interstitial spaces back into the blood capillaries. So now, if the extra 3 liters of interstitial fluid remain in the interstitial spaces, well, most probably edema would result. So edema would cause tissue damage and eventually death. So what is edema? Edema is the medical term for swelling. Our body parts swell from injury or inflammation. It can affect a smaller area or the entire body as well. So I know that you are all curious what edema is. So I have a picture here of how it looks like. Of how it looks like. So this is edema or swelling, or in Tagalog, pamamaga. So as you can see in the picture, from normal foot ankle, from normal foot and ankle to moderate to severe edema, you can see the huge difference that there is a swelling in the mild edema to moderate to severe edema. So there is really a huge difference. As you can see, normal foot ankle, it's just normal. It's just the normal foot and ankle. And as you can see in the mild edema, it more likely nagsiswell na siya. And dito sa in here in moderate to severe edema, it's the entire foot and ankle are really swelling. So that's why it's called moderate to severe edema. So why edema happens? So edema happens when your small blood vessels leak fluid into nearby tissues. Now, edema can also be caused by a variety of medical conditions such as low albumin, allergic reactions, obstruction in blood flow, could also be due to liver diseases, kidney diseases, and also could be during pregnancy and the like. So those what I have mentioned are the medical conditions that can cause edema. But I would suggest that you always check with your doctor if you are experiencing any kind of edema, because your doctor diagnose the correct cause for your edema and will probably advise you on what treatment is really best for you. So this is edema or the pamamaga. Now, the second function is, as you can see, lipid absorption. So now, lipid absorption, our lymphatic system absorbs lipids and other substances from the digestive tract through lymphatic vessels called lacteals. Now, what is lacteals? Lacteals is a lymphatic capillary that absorbs dietary fats in the villi of small intestine. It is mainly located in the lining of the small intestine. Now, lacteal is very important because this is designed to absorb and transport material that is too large to enter the bloodstream directly. So lipids enter the lacteals and pass through the lymphatic vessels to the venous circulation. The lymph passing through these lymphatic vessels appears white because of its lipid content called chyle. Chyle. So, what is chyle? Chyle is a milky fluid consisting of fat droplets and lymph. It drains from the lacteal of the small intestine into the lymphatic system during digestion. Its function, or should I say, chyle plays a critical function and role in immune function, transporting immunoglobulins and T lymphocytes around the body. So what is immunoglobulins? Immunoglobulins, those are antibodies that act and play as a critical part of the immune response to protect us from different microorganisms by specifically recognizing and binding to particular antigens such as bacteria, viruses, and aiding in their destruction. Lastly, the function of lymphatic system is for the defense. It defends us against harmful organisms and chemicals. So our lymphatic system is for the defense in fighting infections as well as filtering blood and lymph to remove pathogens. So we have these two types of defense, the non-specific defense and the specific defense. When we say non-specific defense, it is the general thing your body does regardless of what's invaded, regardless of what's abnormal thing is present to combat that situation. Things like a fever. So fevers can happen regardless of having some kind of, bacterial infection in your respiratory tract or a viral infection in your respiratory tract. Now, the fever is gonna happen with either. So that's what non-specific. So, um, but specific defenses is for this specific bacteria that's entered your white blood cells are gonna do something very particular to combat that. Now, certain virus entering your body, very particular things gonna happen. So, those are the specific defenses to combat particular invasions. Now, specific defense is equal to immunity, or also known as immunity. So, humoral immunity involves B cells that become plasma cells, which produce antibodies that bind with specific antigens. Cell-mediated immunity involves T cells that directly destroy foreign cells. Now, B cells, those are cells that produces antibodies used to attack invader, while T cells, those are cells produces cytokines and regulating immune response. Now, I, in terms of the different kinds of defenses, we could talk first about non-specific defenses. And I mentioned this earlier that the response in terms of your non-specific defenses is the same regardless of what's invading, and they also call it non-specific resistance. So one example is physical barriers. Physical barriers, if you think about all the layers and parts of your body that, like, let's say air has to go through to finally get into your bloodstream. So you have a lot of physical barriers. Now, think about the air you breathe in terms of, dust getting caught in the hairs of your nostrils, in the mucous membranes of your nasal mucosa, then you swallow it sometimes, and it goes into your stomach where it's very, very acidic. And it's probably not gonna survive that if it's not being swallowed. And it's actually being inhaled down into the trachea and bronchi and etc. So you've got those cilia that are sweeping up mucus. So you've got those lymphatic papules of the different alveolar bundles. So basically, there are so many physical barriers to finally, that has to pass before it finally gets into the bloodstream. So physical barriers, regardless of what's your being exposed to virus, bacteria, fungus, well, there's a lot of things that you have protecting your body. So that's it. The next one, the second one is the phagocytic cells. So now you have white blood cells patrolling the body, whose job it is to just swallow up stuff that doesn't belong there. And the classic example is in monocytes. So they are analogous to macrophages. Well, macrophages tend to be like kind of restricted to certain areas outside the bloodstream, but monocytes constantly patrolling and just swallowing up stuff that doesn't belong there. And phagocytosis is the surrounding of some region body or even large molecule by wrapping the plasma membrane around it and bringing it in and a little vesicle and then attacking it or killing it.